Good afternoon, boys and girls, Hoy Brothers, here again, 13th floor BBS. We are taking a step back in time to C-Net 12.0. That is right, the actual C-Net 12.0 that is dongle worthy, by the way. We can now simulate a dongle in WinVICE version 3.1. This is kind of a game changer because for the longest time we've all had to be. I hate when I do that. I keep moving that file around, but don't need to. It's kind of a game changer in that many sysops who still have their original dongle and can run version 12.0 CNET, or at least have some of their old configuration files, it'd be kind of nice, even though it's behind the times, doesn't have near as many options as, say, DS2 or Image, or hell, even Color 64 for that matter. They kind of blew 12.0 out of the water. But it's nice to be able to step into this again just for the historical aspect and have a couple of side-by-side bulletin boards up and running, running version 12.0. So I've got down here, yeah. Now I have to come right out and say, look, I've realized that. Let me switch this one thing off and go to full screen. Take WinVICE out and bring this guy in. There we go. Now you should be able to see my menus here. But one of the things that's a big deal in this version is that we can use the FD4000 and FD2000 drives, as I've mentioned before in my previous videos. That takes us to a new level to where we can use partitioned hard drives, or excuse me, partitioned floppy drives. They don't necessarily need to be that big, don't need to be that powerful. Especially for a BBS of this size, this class. C-Net 10.0, 11.0, 9.60, 12.0, they had a lot less modules than Image and DS2 in that there's not a whole lot of load time. You load it once on the front end, maybe stick it on a RAM drive or a REU of some type, and then you're good to go because not a whole lot of stuff changes, and you load it once. And it's nice and quick and fast step through for the user. On this particular version, I am running 1200 baud. Let me start TCP server again just to make sure that it's gonna act right. So move this guy over here. Here's my init string. I mean, it is so super simple. And here, in fact, I'm going to modify this real quick. Just to, I'm going to use my 11.1 mod. For this particular version. So we're going to be running 1200 baud on port 25233. I'm already using 232 on a different board. I do have, I think, let me make sure on that. I think that I have another BBS on my network here that is already running port 6400, so I do. I'm going to change this to 6402. Okay. All right, and then our setup string here, you can see QO, echo off, VO, HO, X1, SO equals, no, we don't want that. We want SO equals O, SO equals O, because we're going to simulate our own escape code and carrier. So you want S2 equals 27 for the escape codes, and then S7 equals something small, like 6. 5 or 6. Well, we'll say 10, just for sake of argument, because 7's a lucky number. S7, I said 27, didn't I? Okay, S7 equals 7. We want only wait 7 seconds to wait for a carrier. This crap right here, this ampersand W, it doesn't do squat for TCP, sir. I've tried every way but Sunday. It just doesn't matter. So we're going to save this. This is our 11.0 configuration. It works on 11.0, 11.1, 1A, 1B with the colorific mods, 12.1, 12.0, some earlier versions of DS2 like 1160. Anything with a user port, basically. I mean, even Ivory has been known to pick up with that type of configuration. So now we're going to launch it. Drag the son of a gun over here so we can see it. Alright. And we have to somehow make C-Net 12.0 come up and run in hybrid or inverted mode. So real quick, here's our walkthrough. We have we've already modified our BD data file to utilize these extra partitions. We want the system disk to be on partition 2. We want the, what's the second one that comes out? That would be mail. We want email to be on partition 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we are, mail and net. Of course, they didn't have net back then, but you know, that's just what we call it. So, let's get this guy up and running. We're going to launch, boot. There's something we haven't seen in a while. Oh, almost forgot. Most important part of this whole tutorial. Okay, so for that version of C-Net, before it crashes, we want to set our joystick settings to not user port, but we want set joystick. Make sure both of them say none, especially joystick port 2. I'll show you why here in a second. Go to port or control port settings, and then select control port 2 device, set that to a script 64 dongle. That's something new that's been added in this latest version of WinVICE. I've had a little luck with the Visa Write, but that still kind of clears out the screen sometimes, and it doesn't look quite right. Everything's kind of garbled. This one looks the best. I'm going to show you part of the jankiness of it. Paperclip 64, I don't know, the C-Net dongle was kind of based on that, except that they had some sort of voltage reducing thing, or ohm reducing capacitor in there, or resistor. I don't remember how big it was. Larry can probably quote it right off the top of his head, but we're just going to set script 64 because based on the stuff that I've tried, that is the best emulated dongle that I've seen for this version. So this is the unmodified actual C-Net straight off the straight off of my backups, because I did run the legit version. I still have my dongle in hand, but unfortunately you cannot plug it into WinVICE, so kind of screwed there. So load bot. Let's not load bot. Let's load boot. What do you think? Or BT in this case. All right. So I'm just going to warp this guy along as we go through the settings. Okay. So I'll show you where this dongle play kind of comes in. Right here we start to see crap getting skewed. A lot of that is because of the dongle routine, but it still works for launching. So if there's just a couple of minor visual inconsistencies, I think we can work through it. So day, month is October, date is 16, year is, we're just going to say 98 because there are no Y2K mods here. Hour is going to be 2000 hours. No. We are back on PMs and AMs. So 8, what do I say, 19, and that would be PM. And here we go. So October 16th, 98, 8:19 p.m. Counting our blocks free on our various devices. And I think we're actually going to do it. So we have not crashed yet. Right about here is where it would crash. It would go to a straight screen, and it would just kind of dump us on our ear. This right here is where I need to get into that modem file a little bit and tweak it, just to not be so sensitive and think that somebody's calling when they're not. This is part of that DTR high, or DCD high, that is a little troublesome in TCPser. So at this point, I think the BBS has overridden my settings of waiting for carrier, because it's up to the full 30 seconds here, it looks like. And I wonder, there we go. It's doing it. So here we are, boys and girls, C-Net 12.0. Yes, I know I said 13.0. I was a flaky character back in those days. You know, what are you going to do? I wonder if I can actually log on. No. Try HV1. How's that? No. And it's done with me. So anyway, really cool that it works. Good stuff. I'm just, I'm happier than pigs and shit because this is something that we've been waiting on a long time. Dongle emulation in um, uh, in WinVICE, so that we can use cool stuff like Paperclip 64. I know that's been kind of an asked for thing. So, but now that we've actually got some Script 64 dongle support, that's really cool. In that, that's practically what the 12.0 ran on. So, cool. Until next time, catch you later. Hoy Brothers out.